funny how we can talk about something so small of a showing time and how huge of an impact that one app has for you. So challenge yourself today to figure out what is just one thing today that you can take off of your plate, automate it, delegate it, replace it, do something.
Welcome to the Leading Lane podcast for real estate pros by real estate pros with your hosts, Ashley Frederick and Stephen Birch. If you're looking for an honest, authentic, and raw perspective, you found it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Leading Lane podcast. Thank you for joining us on this almost 4th of July day. Stephen, you don't have any red, white, and blue on, but it's coming, right?
Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, when they're listening to this, the 4th of July is already passed.
I know.
So...
So I recently started reading a book, which you've read before, but not for a while, called Buy Back Your Time. And I think it's just been super interesting to listen to about things that we're currently doing that really should be offloaded to admins, other people, the things you don't like to do, etc. So in my mind, I was going through certain things that I do that I shouldn't be doing or that could automate itself, etc. And you had a really great example of something that you've seen and which I have also seen, and it's a matter of trying to train people to think differently. So tell me what one simple thing so far.
I think when we get into like automations or taking things off of our plate, like we get into this, like it has to be this massive, huge thing that you're building out. And really it's something super simple. So I'm going to give you an example of our showing system is ShowingTime. And so to me, if it's a vacant property and with owner's approval, being able to just go ahead and go and show, right? Automatic approval, go and show. But there are agents that still want to be able to get that notification and still be in control, quote unquote, that they want to approve every single one. Well, why in the world would you want to do that? In my opinion, to go and show, you know, you're going to go like allow every single person in there anyway because it's a vacant property. So why have that disruption? Why have that distraction and those extra steps to have to log in and go and approve somebody to go and show? And this legit happened. I had a buyer that wanted to go look at a property. Both of them were vacant, and we wanted to go look in 2 hours. Well, it took an hour and a half for the agent to actually respond back that it's approved. So we went ahead and canceled because we didn't have automatic approval to go ahead and go through. So they lost out on showings because it wasn't a go and show. It's so simple. It doesn't have to be this elaborate thing. You don't have to be in control. I don't know. Like, to me, I want to make it as easy as possible for somebody to get into the property. And I want it as easy as possible on my side that I don't have to do all those extra steps. But that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even just for go and show. I think it's just for showings in general. So I know that there are some agents that, for whatever reason, feel the need that they need to be the one to tell or ask the seller, like, hey, there's a showing at 5 tonight. So just think, like, now you got the notification. Now you have to reach out to the seller. And you have to wait to hear back from the seller. Then once you hear back from the seller, then you have to go into the app and okay it. So what I always tell my sellers is that, like the example you just gave, I might be with a client for an hour and a half, might be on a community tour where I'm not on my phone. And so by that time, someone's requested a showing. You've received it, you have approved it, and by the time I got back from my tour, the property was already shown, and I didn't have to do anything. I didn't delay the tour. It didn't get the showing. It didn't get canceled, etc. Because I had to go straight to you. Now, do I still get all the notifications as to confirmed so that I know that someone's at the property and can follow up? Yes, but I know there are a ton of people that play the in between, that they want to notify the seller, and like, I find it that sellers love the app. Like, then they can open the app and they can see, like, oh, I have 3 showings today, or was that tomorrow, or was that on Wednesday, or whatever that is. So giving them that access, I think, to me, it shows them too that we're a little bit ahead of the game, and that we're helping you see those. But it is like a control thing. But again, like taking away the time of like reaching out, getting okays, reaching out to the other. Then some people will still like to call the other agent and let them know that it's confirmed. Like, no, thank you. Like that's all can be taken care of. And again, like, I don't know, what if you were at a doctor's appointment for an hour and a half and you didn't have your phone and there was a hot to trap
Right.
buyer and because you're in control, you lost out because otherwise it could have been shown. But yeah, I never understand on the vacant properties. And then I'll get like a must wait for confirmation and I'll be like, it's vacant. Like, why?
Well, and then that freaking throws off the rest of the tours, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
lining up your tours and you have multiple, and then that, like that would be perfect in between house number 2 and house number 4. But now we have to wait to see, and then you're gonna mess up my whole flow because I have to wait on you. And I think that too, like when we dissect this as something so small, like a seller not having to reach out to you asking for confirmation of when a showing is. Look at that distraction that's there, right? Then the back and forth of scheduling of all the different parties. If something doesn't work for a seller, they can cancel it right then and there, right? Like everything is right there. It removes the back and forth and the tedious stuff. And really, I think the way that to switch this is the mindset for an agent, right? Like instead of saying like I don't have to do anything, because I kind of think that that's how it was maybe presented when we first got these apps, right? Like that removes what I'm supposed to be doing. No, it's an enhancement of giving you more time back to be able to do service other people or do what you need to be able to do. But if you position this to a seller to say, look, I make a lot of investments into my career and into my systems. This is a system that I made an investment into to ensure that not only the other agent, you as the seller, me as the seller's agent, are all on the same page. So this platform is a huge investment for all of us to be able to utilize and keep everybody on the same page. What seller is going to say no to that? Right?
Right.
Like, I just think it's something, it's hard to think of things in a new manner as things change and evolve. Just because it's the same way that you've always done it forever doesn't mean it needs to be the same way forever here moving forward.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The other thing I was going to say on this too, like kind of going one step further, is the notifications. I kind of hinted at this, but I'm not going to call the agent that out in my office specifically that I heard this through, but they left their phone on their desk and they walked away. And so I heard the little ding from ShowingTime that there was a new request. Then the phone call came in from ShowingTime. Then there was the email notification. And then her text message went off as well. Like you get 4 different notifications from one showing. Whew, like that gave me anxiety just listening to it in the room. Why would you want all of those interruptions? Like one channel, one method to be able to make sure that you're on top of it. Don't care which one works best for you, but 4 notifications, you really got to be having something like tapping on your shoulder telling you what's happening here.
Yeah. I mean, normally, like, I think, like, for me, I just see like a text and I'm like, oh, like, yep, that property's going to get shown tomorrow or whatnot. I think the other part of that, too, if we're talking about like going back and forth, is correct. Like, sometimes that time doesn't work. So instead of the seller saying like 3 o'clock won't work, but 4 o'clock won't work, and then I have to reach out to that agent and they have to reach out to their client, like, the seller can just say like 3 won't work, but 4 won't work, and it's already back to the other agent. But the other piece of that too, I think, is the feedback. And so a lot of times, right, a lot of sellers will be like, have you heard anything? And I always have to tell sellers, like, it's part of the business. Like, we have to chase down feedback. And I will be honest, that's a whole nother conversation about people not wanting to give feedback anymore. So we have to have that conversation. But same thing, as soon as you get feedback back, then the option is publish to seller. So same thing, I don't have to send them a new text or whatever. All I do is push publish to seller, and the seller automatically got the feedback, and they didn't have to reach out to me. I didn't have to send another text message. So, I mean, again, I don't think I think you're right. Like, ShowingTime was kind of set up as like, you don't have to do this or whatever, but there is really like servicing the seller better, giving things to them quicker. I think that, and then also, like, I'm not mincing words. Like, if the feedback was like, it smells like cat pee. Like, that's what the feedback was. I know that there are a ton. I think that's, I'll be honest. I think that's why a lot of others agents don't do the like submit feedback, is because they want to soften the blow to their seller of what the feedback is. And I actually don't think that that is good. Like, I want them to have the straight out feedback, because if you keep on getting feedback, like, buyers felt it was overpriced for condition. Like, I could tell them that, and they may or may not believe me, but now they've gotten 3 feedbacks and it's the same thing. Plus, within the report, like, I just did this with another seller. We haven't received an offer in like 30 days, which is a little unusual for us. Went into the ShowingTime app, I pulled the feedback report, had all the feedback of the last month, and then I sent it to them. And I was like, hey, this is why I think we need to adjust our price. Because now I have all the documentation of all the feedback. So there's so many tools in ShowingTime that are really supposed to aid what you're doing. And I think we need to be better at using that to service clients better.
And it's all the way around. I mean, data doesn't lie, right? Like, and I think that the more that you can capture those things, more that you can put everything into a format that is easily digestible for a seller, that's going to help you later on, like in your scenario there, right? But if you try to, just do text messages or not utilize it, like, how are you supposed to remember that in your brain? How do you remember? I mean, because the other thing here too, like, I push everybody to ShowingTime because now I know every single person that's been in that property. And so when I do a price reduction, my marketing for that price reduction is going to those people specifically saying, hey, you showed it when it was this price. We now got it down to this price. Your buyer said that it was overpriced. Can you bring him back? Bring him back to the table. Will that bring, can you get an offer from me? And my marketing to that other agent is totally different than it is just, posting something online and saying, just reduce. Like, that's not going to do anything. I want to prospect. I want to make sure that the people that have been there know that it's actually a price reduction. But if I'm just doing everything via text, via phone, I'm not going to remember that. I don't have a logging system. And if I do have a logging system, it's going to be handwritten, and that still isn't going to be efficient later on when I'm trying to go market to these agents with that price reduction.
Yeah, that's one thing that I love, because again, like, it's nice when you get notifications about price reductions versus like having to go find them. So one of our steps for our admins is that when there is a price reduction, they go into ShowingTime and they set up the email that notifies all agents that have showed the property of the price reduction. And I think that that's such a simple step of, other times there's properties that I've seen and I'll be like, oh, I'll see like 2 days later, like, oh, they had a price reduction. Like, same thing, like for their clients, it would have been great if someone notified whomever showed it in the last month or whatnot. So again, like, so many tools within ShowingTime that can help you market the property better.
So going back to buying back your time, and I'm going to use an example. This is just an idea that popped in my brain with this. Let's say we have an agent. You're an agent that wants to call every single agent that has shown the property, right? And you do that manually. Imagine you have ShowingTime, which the vast majority of associations do, or some sort of scheduling platform. Imagine if you were able to take that list, the phone numbers of those agents, and you were to do a slide dial. Slide dial is a voice recorded, like you pre-record a voicemail, and you say something like, hey, just want to let you know that we just reduced the price at 123 Oak Street. It's now this price. I know that you showed it to one of your buyers. Just wanted to let you know personally. And if you have any questions, let me know, right? And then you can drop the 25 agents that show the property, all that same voicemail with a couple of clicks. How much time did you just save because you were able to lean into technology and figure out a system, a streamlined system to be able to tap into everybody and making it feel like a personal touch without just a mass text message or group message, which still happens. And like, it just elevates the experience for not only you, way easier, but also for everybody else.
Yeah, I think again, it's leaning into it. It's because I remember even when I was in real estate, like, when I first started, we didn't have ShowingTime. Like, I'm one of the ones that pushed for it, because it would be like, I think they would call the office. The office would take the time and the date, and then that admin would leave us a note on our desk for the time and the date, and then I would call the seller, and then I would give that note back to the admin, and then I was like, this is what you guys do. And I remember I had a client that moved here from a big city, and she was talking to me about like ShowingTime, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then so I started researching it, and I asked our office, and like, yeah, slow adoption, but now it's like the norm.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I know that it was, again, like it was just what you were used to, but yeah, less notifications, less distractions, and more convenience for your seller.
It's funny when I think back when I first started, very similar, but did you guys have to pick up keys at the office too? And with all of this?
Yeah, I mean, we still have to
So,
sometimes. But yes.
oh man, good. But on the admin side, like admin would go get the key off of the keyboard in our key room, and then on the little tag, put the date and time of who's showing it and who checked it
Checking it
out, and you
out.
put it back up there,
Mhm.
right? And then you have to log it in the book to make sure that it doesn't conflict with any other showings, or then you're having to chase down all of these keys and
Oh
who
gosh,
didn't
yeah.
return what. Like, like there you do what you can with what you have in front of you. But if you don't choose to adapt and evolve, like it's going to create more and more work. And I think that is something that I mean, both of us, like we tried to find the most efficient way to be able to get to the end point, and making sure that it's not so tedious and redundant. How can we make sure that we get there the fastest and most efficient and repeatable? And I think that's all what this, looking at the buy back your time, like that's what it is. It's figuring out the systemizing, improving what is once works. I mean, it does work, and improving it so that you no longer have to do it the same way again and do it over and over and over again.
I
So,
think it's
what
like
are some?
best use of
Sorry, go ahead.
time, right? It's like best
Yeah.
use of time. So if all these notifications and reaching out to all these people, like, took you a half hour, like, is that a half hour that you could have been showing a new property, or another half hour that you could have been getting your listing ready? Like, it's what is the best use of your time? And that's definitely
Mhm.
not it.
Yeah. And I think here too, like very eye opening and listening to the book now again, is when you think, like, I think when I first read the book, Buy Back Your Time, like it was to do more and to go and sell more, or what can I do to stack on top of me to replace that task. So I need another task to replace that. But in reality, looking at it now that life has shifted tremendously for us, like it's not necessarily more in business, but it's more in life. What do you enjoy doing, right? Like you love golfing, and look how much more, in my opinion, in the last year or two of more golf outings that you have done, and proudly going to them and not feeling guilty.
Right.
And that's what it's about, is buying back your time so you can go spend time with your husband or your father or your friends or this benefit and be seen in the community. It's whatever you enjoy. So not making it to where we're doing it to always add more tasks. It actually is removing tasks so you can add more joy to life.
Yeah, I think, like the book gave some great examples about, and I think that's right. Like we talk about so much about buying back time to do more business, and there's a point of that, but there's buying back more time because life is short. Things
Mm-hmm.
happen. So again, if it's that same half hour for you, does that mean you get to go home a half hour early and maybe spend a half hour
Mm-hmm.
more with your kids, or you wanted to make dinner for the family, or, go to the driving range before you go to golf league, whatever that might be. Like you have to start to see like what is really the most valuable to you. And I think you're right. It changes over time. Like 6 years ago, I would have been like, yes, like more time to do more, like more listings, more showings, etc. Where today it's different for me. Like, oh, I would like to maybe go home a little bit earlier and do some gardening, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
things change, your priorities change. And I think seeing, like, we're just talking about one app, like that's just one app out of all of them. Like if that can save you a half hour a day or 2 hours a week, like where could you put that time to whatever is beneficial for you in your business or at home?
So if somebody is, I don't know, struggling, maybe for lack of better terms, of, doing it all themselves and putting everything on their shoulders. What is some things that this individual can do to start recognizing that there are these simple types of things like what we're referring to for ShowingTime, to be able to implement into their life, into their business.
Yeah, I think it's really a matter of like doing an audit of your time, right? So like what are you doing every day? And like the book talks about tracking your every 15 minutes, which I would find would be very hard. But right, like it's a good indication of like, is it making brochures? Is it putting sold signs up? Is it making calls? Like what? And then you figure out like, is that really helping me get to the finish line? Like, are those just ancillary things that you're adding in that maybe somebody else, and it could be somebody already within your office, right, that needs a little help or whatever. Like I was busy the other day and I had some brochures to laminate, and so I just reached out to both admins, like, if any of you have extra time today, could you laminate these brochures for me? And they gladly did it, right? So like I took that off, didn't have to worry about it, and they were done in here. So I think remembering too that there are people that want to help. And I think that it's like that control freak mentality, but I think you really have to audit your time and figure out like what is worth my time, what isn't worth my time, and where, even if I hired someone, there's a whole mathematical equation of what you make per year and what that buyback rate is, right? And so they give analysis, but I think they gave an example. Is it, I can't remember the app, is it Fiverr? Anyway, it was like $6 an hour that somebody could do like some social media posts. So same thing, like
Upwork.
what? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep. Upwork
So
or
same thing, like
Fiverr.
if you're not good at social media and you hate it, and I think I was telling you the other day that I was trying to figure out this post and it took me like an hour to figure out this video, and I was like, complete waste of my time. I can't believe people do this for a living. But right, like send that over to someone for $6 an hour, and I'll pay $6 an hour all day long to not spend an hour of my time doing that. So really like taking that step back.
And I think here too is yes, it's the audit, but also in this, it's slowing yourself down enough to be able to see like the brochures and laminating. Is this something now that you can completely offload, and you send one email or not, like whatever the trigger is, they see that there's a new signed listing agreement. And so now they already know that they need to do these brochures and laminations or whatever else, right? So how can you plug it inside of this process so that you now no longer have to go and chase or tell somebody to do it and verify? It's automatically a part of their to do. And I think one
Almost
thing
like
too
an
that you,
SOP for each thing.
yeah, absolutely. One thing that you said really resonated with me too is like people want to help. I don't like doing social media stuff. Get that. Videos drives me flipping nuts. But it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It's just not my cup of tea. And so therefore it frustrates me because I'm not good at it and I want to be good at everything. So instead of me fumble fucking my way through and trying to figure out how to edit a video, like hand it off to somebody. And I think there, when you start creating those relationships with freelancers or third parties or apps or whatever else, like you start seeing how to be able to delegate and close that loop so that you don't have to feel that frustration. Somebody else feels fulfilled because that's their cup of tea, that's within their wheelhouse. And now you're starting to create a quote, like a very cohesive team on the back end, which now allows you to go out there and do more real estate, more life, more whatever.
Yeah, I think right on the head.
Yeah. Some good topic. And it's funny how we can talk about something so small of a ShowingTime and how huge of an impact that one app has for you. So challenge yourself today to figure out what is just one thing today that you can take off of your plate, automate it, delegate it, replace it, do something so that you don't have to do it ever again.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and share with others. Stay connected for more genuine insights and strategies to boost your real estate career on Facebook, or check out our website. We'll see you next time.